Hello everybody, this is a representative of Destiny of Cards. Okay, today we are going to do the deck profile for the new Enforcer's newest deck, Crimson Archetype for the Dragon World. Okay, so of course the body will be none other than Gal Mikado's Drum Bunko Dragon. Of course, it's the Crimson Battles version. We'll further explain the effect when we go through it. First, we will go through the size 2. First, we will run 4 copies of Drum Bunker itself. So Drum Bunker itself have this penetrate ability if you do have a fist that's equipped to it. So the core cost is basically by paying 1 gauge and put the top card into this card's soul. So you also meaning that this card have a soul guard. However, this card only have a 2k defense, but he have the same power as Drum Bunker Dragon, which is 5k, and also same critical power as Drum Bunker Dragon, which is 3 crit. This is a better version of Drum Bunker itself, but of course it's not on the defensive side, this is more offensive. So as we can see, the Crimson Battle is actually an offensive kind of style of playing the deck. So this whole deck build that we are going to show you on this deck profile is basically quite offensive version of the deck itself. So we run 4 copies of Drum Bunker. Next, we have the original 4 copies of Drum Bunker itself. Okay, so as most of you have already know the effect, it's basically pay 1 gauge and put the top card into this card's soul. So the only ability that this card have is Soul Guard itself. So this card have 5,000 power, 3 critical, and 5,000 defense. So it's quite a good card for early game, and it's also a very good card to gain the soul for the next card that I'm going to show you. So the next card I'm going to show you is none other than Drum Bunker's evolution form. 4 copies of Super Armor Dragon, Drum Breaker Dragon. So basically this card is like Jackknife, you have to put on top of a card with drum is named. So by paying 1 gauge, you put on top of any drum. So for example, you put on top of Crimson Battle. So Crimson Battle, if there's a soul, you put on top. Basically, now Drum Breaker Dragon have 2 souls because you also take the soul of Drum Bunker Dragon earlier on. Okay, so of course the ability itself is during your main phase you can actually move this card. So if let's say this card is in the center somehow and you want to move it and to put your other units such as maybe Boomerang Dragon, you can basically just move it to the side first, then you can call your Boomerang Dragon to the center. Okay, so basically this card is quite good for the play, and it's actually having this 7k power and 5k defense. So the defense power is actually similar to Drum Bunker Dragon, but however it gained more power, so it's now 7k attack and 3 critical. Okay, so the other key words that this card have is move, penetrate, and soul guard. Okay, so this card is quite a very painful monster because it's 3 crit, similar to Crimson Battle Drum Bunker Dragon. Okay, so it's also a 3 crit penetrator. Next, we have the size 1. 4 copies of Guns Knuckle Dragon. So Guns Knuckle Dragon is also a penetrate unit. So basically it is a size 1 with 3,000 power, 2 critical, and 1,000 defense. So as you can see, most of the Crimson Battle actually have low defense power. So actually it's not very defensive deck. So it's really a very offensive deck. Okay, so this card is when there's a fist that you are equipped with, this card will gain penetrate. So it's a 2 crit penetrate unit. So it's quite painful for especially against Thunder Knight deck. Okay, next we have 4 copies of another Crimson Battle unit, which is Spinel Dragon. Okay, Spinel Dragon, basically you can call this card into a center, but reason very simple, because this card has 6,000 power. So it's really very counter Thunder Knights itself, because Thunder Knight's Halberd Dragon has 6k defense. So this card actually just kill off Halberd if there's no protection spell such as like Dragonborn. Okay, so same as most of the Crimson Battler, this kind of low defense, so it's only a 2k defense, 2 critical to it. Okay, it's a size 1 monster. Next, we run 2 copies of Opaque Dragon. Okay, Opaque Dragon basically is also another penetrate unit. Okay, so it have this critical of 2 also, similar to most of the unit. So the minimum penetrate power of this deck is 2 crit. Okay, so both Drum Bunker and Drum Breaker have 3 critical. This card and Gun Knuckle have 2 critical in term of size 1 have 2 crit and size 3 have 3 crit for penetrate effect. Okay, so this core cost very simple, pay 1 gauge. So since the whole deck is already running quite low on defensive side, this card also same have a 1k defense, 4k power to crit, size 1 monster. Next, we'll run 4 copies of Missile Bunker Dragon. Okay, so Missile Bunker Dragon similar. It also have this ability penetrate. Okay, so it have 4k power, 1k defense, 1 critical only, penetrate unit. Okay, so after this card attack, you'll go to the bottom of the deck and then you gain 1 gauge. Okay, so it's quite good, useful if let's say your opponent have 4 life, then you want to use Gigantic Crusher, you only have like 2 gauge. So this card will confirm that you have this 3 gauge, and maybe from 5 life you become 4 life by 1 penetrate, or just 1 attack you can actually use Gigantic Crusher and win game. Okay, so this is all for the monster for this deck. Next, we will move on to the spells. Okay, so this deck basically run on 4 Green Dragon Shield. Okay, so this card kind of a staple card for a Dragon Ball deck. So this card actually help you to nullify the attack when you do not have a monster in the center and your opponent is attacking during battle phase. You gain 1 life by nullify the attack. 4 copies. Next, we have 4 copies of another staple card for Dragon Ball, Blue Dragon Shield. Okay, so same, center do not have a monster, nullify the attack. However, this card is not gain 1 life, but it's also gain 1 gauge. Okay, so nullify attacks is quite useful for a Dragon Ball deck. Next, we run 3 copies of Dragonborn. Okay, Dragonborns only can cast when center do not have a monster. Okay, and if the monster is going to be destroyed, you nullify that destruction, you gain 2 life. Okay, so it's quite useful for maybe Drum Breaker Dragon, or maybe some opponent want to attack your Drum Bunker Dragons either forms. Yeah, this card is quite useful to protect them. Next, we run 2 Dragonic Grimroll. Okay, so this card is basically you have 5 life or less. Discard your whole hand, draw 3 cards. Okay, but you only can cast 1 Dragonic Grimroll per turn. Okay, why is this card instead of the new HTD card? Because this card totally let you gain 3 cards from refreshing your hand. Yeah. However, that one maybe you can only draw 1 card. Yeah, not that useful. Okay. Yeah, the downside is you have to discard your whole hand. Okay. So we run 2. So that's all for the spells. Next, we'll go to the item. Okay, so we run 4 copies of Crimson Fist Draco Blaze. Okay, Crimson Fist Draco Blaze is basically a 3 crit weapon with Fist is in name. Okay, by paying 1 gauge is the equip cost. Okay, so it's just 3k power, 3 crit. That's all for this weapon. Okay, so next we run 4 copies of Sunfist Sunshine Impact. Okay, so do you remember the body is Drum Bunker Dragon? Yes, Crimson Battle Crown Bunker Dragon. So this card is Sunfist. By paying 1 gauge, you can equip this card. So it has 6k power, 2 crit. Okay, when this card link attack with your body monster for this turn, the power is infinite. Yes, so you don't have to scare of Drago defense or Drago energy, anything that add power to your opponents, because the power will be infinity. Okay, so yeah, this is also a Fist card, so 3 copies of it. Lastly, we run the impacts 4 copies of Gigantic Crusher. Okay, so this is the new Gao Mikado's Ace card. Okay, so basically, when your opponent has 4 life, you are equipped with Feast, and your opponent do not have a monster in the center, you may cast this card. Okay, so by paying 3 gauge, you deal 4 damage to your opponent, and the damage cannot be reduced. So it's kind of different from Gargantua Punisher. Gargantua Punisher allow you to like cannot be reduced and cannot be nullified. So this card can be nullified maybe by Katana Wars impact card. Yeah. So the Secret Sword, one of them can actually nullify your impact. So if this card get nullified, then there goes your 3 gauge. But of course, that's only running on 3 gauge, so it's quite a low gauge for the similar damage as Gargantua Punisher. So the damage cannot be reduced. So take note of that. So no Chulex, no White Dragon Shield. Yeah. Okay, so it's a 4 damage to your opponent. That's all for this deck profile of the new Crimson deck. We hope that you enjoy it. Please like and subscribe to Destiny of Cards, and please share this video to show the support to Destiny of Cards. Thank you.